Hi all, welcome back to Normandy, the beginning of the end, using the one in the storm. So, expansion, playing scenario 2, the German counterattack. It's my part 5. So, watched back on the part 3 from yesterday and started watching back on the slurry part 4 that was later at night. I've not watched it all, I just watched the beginning of it. But yeah, more frustrations, more disappointments, not really getting there, but I'm determined to stick with it for now, for sure. I want this game to work. Uh, looking back on how things went, I kind of feel like maybe we did get this right. But I know I seem to be taking an awful long time to make these decisions, but what I think I got wrong though was I think this should be in this hex. Because I think this should have been the target of that very first. Now, well, to be honest, it should have been between this and where's the one that's in the woods? Is that there, is it? Yeah, that's in the White Woods. Because these two hexes were as close to the starting hex, and they were defense value 3 and had a MFF shot on a target. So I think this one was the first one. It should have been randomised between these two, and then this one. Remember, we did randomise between this one and this one, and it's ended up there. My take is I'm not going to change it. I'm just going to leave it. My take is that my next infantry A is probably going to head for this. It's going to target that. So, which, yeah. So I think I'll kind of balance it out. You know, we'll have this one maybe should have been there, and then maybe he should have been going there or something. But that's assuming I'm getting things right. But I'm guessing quite a lot and hoping for the best and whatever. Couple of things to mention. The comment that I got and Roberto also added to this. This was on the main page, and it was regarding the fact that we not got them in here now. Panzer Grenadiers. Yeah, we got them mechanised rather than motorised, though, didn't we? So I was it was regarding where is it? What have I done here? Oh, that's not it. Where is the scenario card? There we are. Yeah, it was regarding this truck bit here. And yeah, it got pointed out, the Spanish guy, sorry, I've forgotten the name, that it's difficult to pick up on and I'm not knocking the guy, obviously, again, he's trying to write words in English that are, so it's a bit broken and not so clear to me about how he's saying it, but he's talking about the Panzer Grenadier with the truck in the back and that. And Roberto linked a counter sheet was showing them front and back as well. That's all very well, and I kind of thought that's what this was at first. Because even these can have trucks. Everything there has got truck on the back. Well, doesn't say the word truck. This one actually does say the word wagon, doesn't it, on the FH18. But doesn't say the word truck. But anyway. But I suppose my confusion is, why is that there? And yet, on the third scenario, there's no mention of truck. It's Panzer Grenadier motorised. Now, is that just to get you into swing it? Because this is scenario 2 and the first time that these have been used. Man, yeah, I could see that, but they should tell you that. Because that's kind of confusing, We've got veteran marked, we've got veterans in brackets there, which tells you they're veterans. And then we've got the word truck in brackets here. Sorry. That sort of suggests something different, but it's got there in Panzer Grenadier truck. Now hold on. Yeah, So it's also saying it's a Panzer Grenadier motorised, because that truck would not be there. It would be Panzer Grenadier, I don't know, half track or something like that, wouldn't it? Because the mechanised ones are different. They've not got the truck. They've got the actual, it can actually fire and fight and whatever. And I suppose I've not replied to that thread yet, but that'll be my reply. Is like, why do they need that here, truck, and yet they don't need it here? So I've not looked at the following scenarios to see if there's any, if truck ever comes up again, but I guess it's probably not. But anyway, that was a little bit of a thought on why was that really needed. It just felt like it was confusing something that didn't need to be. Okay, so right, and one other thing before I do anything is I was a bit concerned, and we moved. Now we said, like, and I'm saying this infantry can move to is probably going to target here. The reason I chose not to target there was because this is surrounded by bocage. No wheeled units can move into here, right? But while it's an intel marker, it can move with wheeled, it can move with... In fact, can it not be considered to be tracked? No, it just says... What does it say about it? Oh, it depends what it is. Does it depend what it is? So, infantry A's 4/13 foot wheeled. Yeah, and remember, it's got the motorised, mechanised counter, so that can be classed as 13 wheeled. Now, as an intel marker, that means it can't actually move into that hex as wheeled. However, it can move in there as foot. Okay, so that's all good and well. And then if there was any that were tracked, but we've not got any that tracked. We've got the ATRA, which is foot wheeled, and the mortar, which is foot wheeled. So all them could move into there on foot, but cannot move into there on wheels, right? And then one of the other things is because we're playing the open sort of way of playing it, we've already seen that this is the only company that's been identified, and it's turned out to be a Panzer Grenadier mechanised company. Now these are tracked, not wheeled. So, and yeah, I think they can move about. You can see they can move about with 15, but remember they're tracked, not wheeled, so there's different restrictions to where they can go, and they can fight like that. Whereas the motorised ones, that side, they're just a truck and that's it. So, that's fine as well. I'm okay with that. What was bothering me was, yeah, what was kind of bothering me, well, doesn't matter. I mean, if he had moved into there, if this was the target of the first, yeah, let's just say that this was meant to be moving into here, and it moved right round to there, and it stopped there, but the target of its movement was in here, right? Which is, I think, what I should have done initially. These guys had a go at identifying this, right? And they failed. Let's just say they succeeded and they had identified this, right? And then its destination hex was still here. Now, I could see how this can still work. It just means that it can then not move there. And you might say, well, why can it not move there? Because you've just said that foot movement can still move across there. It's just wheeled. It can't. If we identify this, well, if we identify this to be a motorised company, right, it then cannot move into there. And I'll show you why. Because here's on page 26 in the main rules, and it tells you about motorised platoons. And I just want to go back to the paragraph above this in a second, but I'm going to read what I'm talking about just now. It's this one here, I think, actually. I think it's this paragraph. When dismounted, right, so when dismounted, these anti-tank, artillery and anti-aircraft Wait, why is it saying anti-tank, artillery and anti-aircraft? Okay, sorry, I'm maybe getting this wrong. I tell you something else that's causing trouble as well, because one of the rule books I look on the PDF shows the book like this, and this must be the Help Arrives one. But see the one that's, if you look in the Normandy files section for the version 2.1 of these rules, it shows motorised, then it shows mechanised, then it shows cavalry. So again, there's a mess with that in the rulebook. So you've got to watch about what version you're looking at of the rulebook. Regarding the PDF side of it, it's all a bit confusing. Admittedly, when it talks about mechanised here, in that rulebook, the PDF, it does say that it's discussed in the next section. So my guess is that if we look up AFVs, well, here's a section on AFVs, and to be honest, it doesn't really discuss it the way. It's not really mentioning mechanised units there, is it? That's a bit odd as well. That feels like there's bits missing there again. Because honestly, if you look at the downloaded PDF version on the Normandy page, then this is different. On page 26, you've got motorised platoons, then you've got mechanised platoons, then you've got cavalry. But let's go back to what I was. Maybe I've got this wrong. My thinking was that even though these mechanised units are dismounted like that, they still have to consider the fact that they've got a truck with them, which restricts them to move into hexes. They can't, basically what I'm saying is that, like that, cannot cross a blockage hex. Now, have I got that wrong then? I'm going to come back to that one, because this confuses me too. They move on foot. Yeah. Okay, that's weird. I've clearly read this wrong then, because I thought this applied to the platoons as well, the infantry as well. But that just says when dismounted, these anti-tank, artillery, and anti-aircraft always keep their transports. Although they move on foot, they cannot enter those hexes prohibited to wheeled vehicles, as these platoons never abandon their transport vehicles. Let's just see how that's worded in the bit that I just read in that PDF. Why is it saying anti-tank, artillery, and anti-aircraft? I mean, I'm just talking about this infantry platoon here. I mean, it's showing it there as motorised. Is it motorised infantry? The one we're looking at is Panzer Grenadier, it says there. But it's got this on the back. Well, you know what? These are Italian, that's why. These are Italian, aren't they? Why they've got examples of Italian things in the Normandy? Hold on. This is the main rule book from Help Arrives, Grant. Okay, I take that back. Sorry. This is the main rule book from Help Arrives. If I look up, right, I know I shouldn't really look at my old rule book, but where is it again? Okay, here's my old rule book. Which I shouldn't be looking at. I know it's actually on page 27, so it's even different there. Motorised, then you've got this small mechanised section that does say that it'll be described in section 17.2. Just jumping around at 17.2, this is totally different as well from my newer rulebook. So I don't know if there's information getting missed here or not. Right, okay, and I can see the words that are missing from here, that I bet if I go and look on the PDF that I was just looking at, it'll make it clear to me. When dismounted, these anti-tank, artillery, and anti-aircraft always keep their transports. I mean, that feels like there's something missing there as it is. And anti-aircraft always keep their transports. Again, translation, maybe. Again, looking in my old rule book, and I know this is the old rule book, but I guess I'm going to look in the PDF just now. So this says, when dismounted, these anti-tank, artillery, anti-aircraft, and motorised platoons always keep their transports. Although they move on foot, they cannot enter these hexes prohibited to wheeled vehicles, as these platoons never abandon their transport vehicles. So that is what I read previously, tells me that that cannot cross a bocage hex, because it's got to consider this. Okay? Well, you know what? I'm not sure here. Both the PDFs that I've looked at online, it's worded like that in my rulebook. And this is the version 2.1 rulebook. When dismounted, these anti-tank, artillery, and anti-aircraft. So there's not any mention of infantry platoons there, like this. So apart from when I go back to my old rulebook, which mentions motorised platoons always keep their transports. So I'm not sure. And another bit that threw me was this paragraph here. This says motorised infantry platoons that dismount from their transport may not remount unless stated otherwise in the scenario notes. But however, motorised artillery, anti-aircraft and anti-tank platoons may limber and unlimber any number of times unless otherwise indicated by the scenario rules. So, is that saying... That kind of gets me thinking that maybe this is... I mean, what does that say? Well, no, it says that in the old rulebook as well. Motorised infantry platoons that dismount from the transport may not remount unless stated otherwise in the scenario notes. I mean, I see nothing in the scenario notes that suggests that these can mount up on their transport again. And that's saying that although that's on the back of the counter, that if that moves with that and then it dismounts, then it can't mount up again, which maybe suggests that it's not got its truck anymore and it can cross a bocage. But I'm not sure. The rules are a bit sticky with all that, I think. And, well, I mean, you might be saying, well, how does that matter? When you're an intel marker, that doesn't matter. They can move as wheeled or foot. So, I mean, yes, this could move across there. But like I said to you, if this was identified and became one of them, I'm not sure I could then move into there. That's how I was thinking about it, but reading this again now, I'm not really that sure. And the fact it says motorised infantry platoons that dismount from their transport may not remount. I also don't know if that means that once it's identified as on its infantry side, does that mean it can't mount up on its transport? Or can it do it just the once, and then once it dismounts, it cannot remount? Yes, more things to wonder about. Okay. Let's just try and get a bit of gameplay, Grant, or you're just going to get all frustrated again like you were last night. Okay. So, yeah, I don't know how I'm going to deal with that. We'll see. Right, it's back to the AI again, isn't it? This one got finished because it reacted. In fact, I think we got a step loss, didn't we? Yeah, we got a step loss on that. So we identified this. It is high activity. And unfortunately, I can't put this out on the headquarters board because he's one of the Kickstarter officers and there's nowhere to put him. So it's got to be just left with him. This was finished previously because, and it's still an intel marker. It didn't get 2 actions. This one did get 2 actions. However, we've now only got medium activity level markers left, so there's not going to be any of that 2 action nonsense. But remember, the Americans can't have an action this turn anyway. So next in line is going to be the next infantry A, and that's because it is it's got the most fire factors of 21. These two are, I would say they're considered to be 11 or something at the moment. Right, so we've got infantry A. Now remember, he's going to be coming in 1, 2. Well, these are each going to be a half a movement point. But I'm going to count him in because these were all backed up on the road. And I think that's what you're meant to do. Again, I could be wrong about that, but there was something in the rules that suggested it was done that way. So he gets a medium activity level marker. Now, I want to say that we know sorry for the dogs. I think we know exactly where he's going to go. He wants to go here. Because that is going to give him MFF to that. And it's not, well, it doesn't matter if he can fire back with MFF anyway, because he's in a 3 defensive hex. And that's how I'm reading it in the rules. And this is the closest hex possible that we can get the MFF from hex 800. Now, I did talk about this one being a possibility as well. This is a marsh hex, but again, Wheeled can't move into that, and that's why I didn't consider these. I was considering this at first, and then says, well, Wheeled can't move into that, so we can't do that. But remember, it doesn't state that. So this one could be as well, because although the bridge is there, we could fire down that spine. This is finished as well. Ooh, that's a point. So actually, this hex is a valid target now, isn't it? For us to move. Because this is finished and cannot fire. And we've decided that that's what it's asking. Can it be fired upon with MFF as a reaction? That's what I'm going with. I'm sticking with that now. It might be that it's wrong, but... So hold on, well, from 800, but I think this hex is closer though. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, it is, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. So this is closer than what this is. So I think that's where his target is going to be. So he's going to be given advanced movement target in this hex here. And although he can't move right into that now. Yeah, because he can't move to here, because this is a divisor of 2, and he would have a reaction of 9. So that he can't move there. So he is going to move to here, but he can't finish there though, so he's going to have to finish there. Would he then... Oh, that was the other thing I forgot to check. We moved from there to there, and I counted that as a foot movement crossing a bocage into Elite Fields. I was forgetting about that river though. But for foot movement, minor river, let's hope this isn't going to mess things up. So crossing the bocage was a +1. Moving into the Light Woods for foot was 2. So you've got the +1, that's 3. The minor river, saying it's +2. Oh, have they got a movement of 5? They have, haven't they? Yes. Right, we're alright. Only just though. Because remember when it said when it finishes in a river hex, it's got to be considered to have crossed it, hasn't it? So you've got to add the +2 for foot moving into a minor river. So there's 2 for the White Woods, +1 for the bocage, that's 3, +2 for the minor river, that's 5. So that was okay, just. So we got away with we got away with that. This one, what's the movement in the machine gun? See, the movement in the machine gun's a 4. And here's the other thing now, remember these are... Well, I don't know. I don't know if these are allowed, if these are still considered to be tracked or not. Because after reading that, I thought that was the case. But now after reading that, well, hang on. What does it say about tracked side of things? Yeah, actually, although it doesn't really show the motorised, the mechanised platoons, it talks about it here. It says, this is movement. AFVs move using wheeled yellow movement or track black ones. Cost to enter each type of terrain or listed in the terrain effects chart. Special rules concerning these movement types described for transport platoons in Chapter 12.2 are applicable. AFVs as well. Right, 12.2, let me come back to that. Like artillery, anti-tank or anti-aircraft motorised units, dismounted mechanised units always keep their transports even though they move on foot. Therefore, they cannot enter hexes prohibited to their vehicles due to the terrain type because these platoons never abandon their transport vehicle. So again, that's only stating artillery, anti-tank, or anti-aircraft. And it says motorised units there, which shouldn't it? It really should say mechanised, shouldn't it? So maybe it doesn't apply to infantry platoons and machine gun platoons then. Maybe that, you know what, we're going to have to call something. So I'm going to say that's right then. I'm going to say that these are moving on foot. I don't know again about if I can consider them mounting up again though or not. But are they going to want to mount up again? Probably not, but... Well, they might. But I don't know. It said there it needed to be specified in the scenario rules if they were allowed to mount up again. Yeah, all that's a bit confusing. Right, well, I lost what I was thinking there. Why did that take me back to that? I don't know. Yeah, well, if I can reach here, and then, I was checking the movement factors, getting out there. If we want to move from there to there by foot, it's going to be 1 into the open. Well, to be honest, we would probably do it this way if we could. Now, you might not be able to though, because that would keep us out of line of sight by moving there and then into there. I don't know if that's important just now, Grant. Just move it to here and then be done with it. Well, what it would be plus, it'd be 1 for crossing the, what is that, White Woods? See, it's 2 to enter the White Woods and the field. It's 1.5, but you've got 2 blockades, so 2, 3.5, 4.5, 5.5. Well, we could. I'm saying you can double time. Can you double time intel marker? I think you maybe. I'd need to look at that. Let's move it to here because that's where it's going, right? So we're going to count half a hex, half a movement point to start this off, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's only 5. Sorry, no, it's not, because it's once it gets on the trail, it's 1, I think. Yeah, so it was half 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, because these are 1 each to move to. So he's finishing there. He's not been spotted. He can't be identified or any of that. He's not able to reach his target, so he's going to this is going to flip over to the other side. That's going to be in transit, and that one flips over as well. Right, and then that's his turnover. Now he's medium activity level, so he was not going to be able to get. It doesn't roll in morale to get another turn. Okay. Yeah, who knows? Who knows if that's right? Okay, and we weren't able to react at all to that because he didn't even get into. Like I say, this hex we were able to try and intervene, but we failed. That's it. So US don't get they don't get a shot, obviously. So we're now back to the AI again, and we've got a mortar and the ATR. What was that? Just thinking about there. Hang on. Yeah, I was just wanting something to just remind me of. Because the first one, we had 5. The first one went there, and like we're saying that doesn't count. And then the second one counted this hex, so that would be a 1. And then the third one, 1, 2, we've got 3 on board. First one didn't count any of the one. The second one would count 1. The third one would count 2. It's got to be a 3, is it not? I'm just using, the fact that says event, it's not relevant. What I'm saying is we've got to count 1, 2, 3 hexes now. So this is going to go, it's going to count 3 hexes. Well, hang on, no, it's going to be there. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, because we counted 2 with the last one, didn't we? 2 at 0.5 per hex. So this the mortar's got to count 3, and then that'll then change that to a 4. If you get my drift. If you don't, then hopefully I know what I'm talking about. Okay. Right, give me a sec. Right, so yeah, but it's not necessarily the mortar that's going next, is it? It could be the ATR, and again that's based, I think it's based on the fire factors, isn't it? Well, the reason it's based on the fire factors because if we look at the priority chart, where's that again? It's hiding. It's not there. Maybe on the back of one of these. Here we are. So again, priority, we are rush, so it's the A column, or this section. Nothing routed, no 2 actions marker, no up to 3 hexes away from a player platoon or objective even. Remember, they're both off the map. We're trying to decide between the mortar and the ATR. Doesn't apply. So any remaining forces, we then come to here where we imagine this one to say something along the lines of closest to objective. And then this is the one that does apply though. Well, actually, I'm not sure it does. AI forces with the highest FF against the closest player platoons. So the closest player platoons, remember, are only going to get, it's going to be AP fire that's relevant. So when we look at the mortar for the axis, it is 14 at AP and then 10 at artillery. So 14 is the higher one there. And then if we look at ATR, okay, so it's going to be more, isn't it? It's only 11. I think you can consider the art as well as the AP FF, because I think art can be used on AP, can it? It can be used on infantry units. However, there's a 14, there's an 11. That tells us the mortar's going first, right? Okay, good stuff. And just confirming again, the mortar has a field of 13 as well, but only a foot movement of 3. So, oh yeah, we wanted to see if that was, did I say that was going to be 5? I can't do that then, can I? Oh no, it was 5.5. But remember, while they're still intel markers for infantry A, they're considered only to have 4 foot movement. So can they actually reach there from there? Well, that's going along the road, so that's only 1. And then into the field is going to be 1.5, crossing the blockage is now 1, 2.5, 3.5. Yeah, so it can go in that way. It just means that it's going to get spotted as it's doing that. Well, it's going to get seen and possibly identified. Yeah, I will need to remember spotting, but it's a strange one in this game. It talks about spotting. You've got to be able to spot something to be able to, to fire on it or to identify it. And I might be skipping by that a little bit. There's a chart now. Is that not in the combat chart that talks about spotting? I just feel like when you're up close, spotting's going to be over here somewhere. Spotting chart there. I mean, you can see that if it's in the open, you know, you can see the range that it's spotted at. It's like huge. It's kind of big, yeah. This for infantry that are small. It's 7 if it's not moving and 10 if it's moving. So I will need to be careful with this because I think you could maybe get caught with this in certain cases and think that you're able to. I mean, even this is for identifying purposes. Well, does it not give a different? What is this? It's green. Yeah, they're all green. Well, actually, the ATRA is actually medium. The other ones are green, while they're intel markers. So in actual fact, the ATR is going to be even easier to be spotted. But yeah, I don't really think that there's ever going to be an issue. I mean, I dare say there must be. I mean, why would they have it? Why would they have that whole spotting thing? Right, so the mortar can move 13 as well. Well, hold on, stop though, because it's got a range of. Yeah, this is where we knew that things were going to change up a bit, didn't we? So the mortar, well, for AP fire, its range is 2. However, for RFF, its range is 8. So, okay. Well, what's its order going to be? Right. Yeah, I didn't roll the dice for the artillery, for the infantry. I skipped by this. What a fool. I was forgetting about this. We should have been looking at this and rolling on this for that last infantry. We've done it for the first 2 infantry platoon intel markers. We should have done it for the third one. If it comes up assault, what is going to happen? Let's I mean, I could just roll the dice now, but then it's not this chart, is it? It's not this. It's a different flow chart. Nah, I need to backtrack then, don't I? There's no point looking at that assault flow chart if I'm going to. I would have had to roll the dice here. And this was before infantry, that last infantry A marker moved. I didn't give it its orders. So it's that. So let's hope it's a 5 to 10 we roll here. And then we're getting away with it. Okay. Oh no. Oh, typical. Right. So it wanted to assault. Now there wasn't any the modifiers wouldn't have applied, would they? No. Okay, so we might be having to alter this. I want to feel like it's still going to, because it can't do any assault nonsense, that it's probably going to try and just do an advance again anyway. But we should do things by the book because that's the whole purpose. So assault movement order, that's what we got. Select a target. Right, so notes down the bottom here. So the target for this time means the closest hex with player platoons that may be assaulted by means of a safety assault. Okay. Closest hex with player platoons that may be assaulted by means of a safety assault. Okay. Let me try and not find that target and just see how it treats things. Let's just say we've got a target. Can it be reached in this activation? Well, see, this might be applying then. I suppose what I kind of thought was going to happen here is we were going to, because it can't assault from where it is, we were going to come to this and it was going to guide us to do an advance. But you see all these green boxes, it's going to try and attack maybe, or assault. You've got this place a reaction marker, but it's off the map. These aren't going to, this isn't going to apply either, because it can't attack. Well, there's one that says move to that hex, advanced movement. So there is one. I kind of thought it was just going to bring us to this with us, because we can't assault, we can't fire, we've not got targets, so. But, yeah, let's try and see what it says in the rulebook for this then. So the target is the closest hex with player platoons that may be assaulted by means of a safety assault. Oh, that's quite nice. I've not read through it all here, but there's an example that deals with this that we're just looking at, the assault thing. So, I have read this before, but let's just read through that. So, example of order flow diagram use. An intel marker receives an assault order, right, which is what we've got, after checking orders chart K, which we've done, right? So go to assault flow diagram, which is what we're looking at, and it's just above there, which is, the diagram is N. And start reading from the blue square that contains the initial order. As indicated by the rules for assault, select a target, which is, it just says the closest one. Okay. It is located 5 hexes away, and it cannot be reached in this activation. So the answer to the first question is no. Right, let's stop there then. So, yeah, I wanted to, that, on that flow diagram, that bit didn't quite make that as clear as that, did it? Or did it? Was it just me not reading it? Target, this is what we're wanting. Closest hex with player platoons that may be assaulted by means of a safety assault. Well, that is a bit more, there's a bit more to that than what we just read there. So, does it tell us about assault? Okay, hold on. Okay, just jump into here. This is on page 26 of the solo rules, assault requirements. Keep the following rules in mind when an AI side force receives an assault order. And that's what we've been given. All counters with assault orders marked stacked in the same hex and with the same target must move together. This means their movement is limited to the speed of the slowest platoon in the assault group. Remember, this is just an intel marker we're doing, so that doesn't really come into it. Any given hex cannot be targeted by more than one company / intel marker. Right, okay. ATR intel markers can't perform assault movements. Well, that's fine because it's the mortar one we're doing, but bear that in mind for the next time. If we happen to roll assault, they can't do that. An AI side officer may join the assault force if its leadership value can be used for the pre-assault morale check. Okay. As described in the standard rules, the AI side may perform the following close assaults, hand-to-hand. Okay. Assault movement. Purpose of an assault movement is to move an AI force to the hex with the highest divisive value adjacent to a player-occupied hex to perform an assault. Following requirements must also be taken into consideration. Troops and infantry intel markers, they need enough remaining movement points to enter the hex. AFV and tank intel markers, they need enough Many movement points to enter and leave the hex. Okay, so we must be just doing this, troops and infantry, I think. So the target hex is a hex adjacent to the assaulted target's hex. Movement type, foot, wheeled or track. Movement route, path of hexes. Cross to reach the target hex. So we're looking for hexes adjacent. So first you need to determine the target hex. The hex with the highest divisor value adjacent to the closest player platoons that may be targeted with a safe assault. Okay, this is good, right? This is explaining it, actually. Therefore, requirements for safe movement and safe assault must be satisfied. 4.7, 4.8. I think they're on one of the chart. In fact, are they not on this chart? No, they're not. Oh yeah, they are. They are. I've got them down here. Okay, so I've just come away from the rule book there. So we need to be able to do safe movement. So players may not react, or they may react, but only up to 6 in divisor 2, 3, up to 9 in divisor 4, 5. Safety assault requirements, however, need that safe movement. And if it's hand-to-hand combat, and armor support, the odds ratio is 1 to 2. Armored assault. Right, it's going to be... Well, what one is it going to be, though? Bear in mind, we are. This is just an intel marker, so... I think it's still hand-to-hand, isn't it? It's not armor support or armored assault and anti-armored assault. So I don't think, I don't think any of them apply. I think it's hand-to-hand combat. Well, depends what we're going to get out of the mortar, I suppose. Out of the mortar, we can get heavy weapons, motorized heavy weapons, airborne heavy weapons. Yeah, I think this is all going to be hand to hand, isn't it? So we need to have a 1 to 2 ratio, but I don't know how we work that one out yet. Let's find our target, because I think I can do this, because I want to say it's going to be this. No, it's not going to be that guy. Sorry. I want to say it's going to be here. Because this guy's finished. So we do have safe movement. Now it wanted a hex that was... Does the bridge give? No, I don't think it does it? I think we looked at that already. Bridge. Yeah, it's just other terrain, isn't it? So that's going to be a 2. That's going to be a 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. All of them are 2s. So the highest divisor value round about there is... It's all the same. So hex adjacent. Highest divisor. If there are several options, choose the hex with the highest divisor value first, or an objective hex. That's all we're getting. Oh, there's an objective hex. Well, that's handy, but if that wasn't there, I'm not sure what I would do there. You know, because it does look like we could... Well, hang on, no, we can't move across the blockage there anyway. We couldn't move across the blockage here. We could, I think, move into that hex, though. But there's the objective hex, so I want to say that that's our target. Now, is there assault target counters or no? We are just moving here though, remember? Because we can't assault. Once orders have been issued and the assault movement action takes place, determine the following details. Once the I-4 finishes its assault movement and reaches the target hex adjacent to the assaulted ones, standard assault procedures defined in the standard rules are performed to solve the close assault. Oh dear. So this is actually a movement to actually assault. Can we do this though while we're moving along with wheeled? Not wheeled. Yeah, it is wheeled. Movement type. For infantry and MG platoons, only foot movement is possible, whereas mechanised mounted platoons that will use their transports movement type. For infantry and MG platoons, only foot movement is possible, whereas mechanised mounted platoons that will use their transports movement type. Double time is not allowed. Is there a restriction because we're an intel marker? No. AFV. No, because if we move into close assault, we automatically become identified, don't we? Oh, man. Struggling again. Let's go back to the flow chart here. Let's say this is our target, right? So it's a target. So I mean it's these units, but this is the hex that's adjacent. But it does say you need to have movement to be able to move into the hex as well. But yeah, can be reached in this activation. Well, let's just say yes then. Placed in defensive terrain while in defensive mode and may attack with MFF. Placed in defensive terrain while in defensive mode. Well, it's not in defensive mode, so no. Safe assault. Yes, I think so. It says perform assault. If it wasn't able to reach its target, can be reached in this activation. If it was no target available, heavy weapons units may attack with MFF. No, may attack with MFF. Oh, that's the one that was errated. What have I got written there? May be attacked with MFF. No. Can move to a hex with a higher divisor closer to target or objective. Yes, I would think so. Safe movement, yes. Move to that hex. Sorry, I'm not showing you that. So they are safe movement, move to that hex. I'm struggling too much with this game, I think. I really am. I really feel this is going to keep on happening. Now, it could just be a me thing, this, because a lot of people would just, play it as they've seen it, how it should be. And I'm wanting to know exactly what is happening. And it's just not coming across clear enough for me. Yeah, and I feel like I'm coming up here every day now, or whenever I'm getting a chance, and struggling my way through, and I'm sure I could be playing another game and enjoying myself a bit more, rather than being frustrated. Then again, I've been frustrated the last 3 or 4 days afterwards and came back the next day. So, don't know. I mean, I'll maybe call this apart now, right? Probably that's what I'll do, and then I'll maybe look into this a bit more, and I'll maybe be then encouraged to come back tomorrow. Well, probably not tomorrow. Be encouraged to come back next chance I've got to, like, play it again and keep persevering. But I feel like I'm going to keep coming to this brick wall every time. It's going to be something different maybe, but it's just going to be more of the same, and it's not the fun experience that you're wanting from a game. So, but I feel like it should be there. I feel like this should be here in this game. It seems to be the most complete sort of game like this that's AI wise, solo wise, it seems to be the most complete one that I've got. I mean, Conflict to Hero is much more simpler than this when you look at it, but guided by cards that you still scratch your head a bit about, and still probably had to make choices that had to make decisions for yourself sometimes. But I don't feel like I should be all these things that are coming up. I don't feel like these are decisions that I should be having to make for myself. But I may be wrong. It might just be that somebody would decide exactly what it is this motor company wanted to do. Even while it was an Intel marker, they would know exactly where they wanted to put it. But I'm trying to find it in the flowcharts and in the instructions exactly where it should be placed. And but I still feel like it's written there. I'm just not able to see it. Okay, right. Probably going to call it a night now. Thought I might come back to another bit, but I can see myself having to go away, and if I'm going to come back to this, I'm going to have to look into this a bit more, read into it a bit more, and see how to deal with it. So, yeah, ending on another frustrating note. Okay. I'll be back at some point. Okay, cheers.